The Iran retaliation series that many followers have been waiting for has finally begun. After the United States and Israel launched large-scale airstrikes on Iran under the operation reportedly called Epic Fury, Iran responded with a massive counterattack campaign known as True Promise 4. According to Iranian sources, this operation was designed as a multi-layer retaliation targeting American and Israeli military infrastructure, strategic facilities, and key regional bases. In this video, we're going to break down everything that has happened so far and look at the weapons used, the targets that were struck, and the results claimed by different sides of the conflict. The first wave of retaliation reportedly began on February 28th, only about 48 minutes after the initial US and Israeli strikes. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps launched missiles and drones toward several major Israeli targets. The weapons reportedly used included Khorram-Shar ballistic missiles, Fatah-2 hypersonic missiles, and combat drones. The targets included Ben Gurion International Airport in Tel Aviv, the Israeli General Staff Headquarters, the Haifa Naval Port, and the Ramat David Air Base. Multiple waves of missiles were launched in an attempt to overwhelm Israeli defenses. According to reports circulating online, areas around Tel Aviv and the Haifa Naval Port suffered noticeable damage. One of the most talked about weapons used in the campaign is the Khorram-Shar 4 ballistic missile. This missile is said to carry a warhead weighing roughly 1 ton and has a range of about 2,000 kilometers. Its speed can reach around Mach 8, making it one of the heavier long-range missiles in Iran's arsenal. Alongside it, Iran reportedly deployed the Fatah-2 hypersonic missile. Hypersonic weapons are extremely difficult to intercept because of their high speed and maneuverability. The Fatah-2 is believed to reach speeds above Mach 12 in its terminal phase, with an estimated range of around 1,500 kilometers and accuracy within tens of meters. Several hours after the initial Israeli strikes on Iran, retaliation reportedly expanded beyond Israel. Iranian missiles and drones began targeting American military bases across the Middle East. One major target mentioned in reports was the headquarters of the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet in Bahrain. The Manama naval base was reportedly hit by ballistic missiles, and at least one Shahed 136 drone. Iranian sources claimed that 2 satellite communication terminals and a large fuel storage facility were destroyed during the attack. This particular base was protected by Patriot missile defense systems. Each Patriot battery can cost over $1 billion, while individual interceptor missiles cost several $million each. In comparison, Iran's Shahed drones reportedly cost only tens of thousands of dollars to manufacture. This massive difference in cost highlights the growing importance of drone warfare, where relatively cheap unmanned systems can challenge extremely expensive defensive technologies. Another important target mentioned was Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, which serves as the forward headquarters of U.S. Central Command in the region. Reports claim that a Fatah hypersonic missile was launched toward the base and managed to evade several interceptor missiles before striking a major radar installation. The radar system allegedly targeted in the strike was a strategic early warning radar worth hundreds of millions of dollars and capable of detecting missiles thousands of kilometers away. If damaged, such a system could temporarily weaken regional missile defense coverage. Iranian strikes were also reported against U.S. bases in Kuwait and the United Arab Emirates. The Ali Al Salem Air Base in Kuwait reportedly suffered hits on aircraft hangars and sections of the runway. In the UAE, military installations, including Al Dhafra Air Base, were also targeted. Some controversial reports even claimed that a missile strike hit a residential compound linked to intelligence personnel, though such claims remain unverified. On the same day, Iran announced the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most critical shipping routes in the world. Nearly 20% of global oil shipments pass through this narrow waterway. Any disruption there can have major consequences for global energy markets and shipping routes. On March 1st, the 5th through 9th waves of retaliation reportedly took place. One of the most notable developments was the reported use of anti-ship ballistic missiles. Iran claimed it launched Qadr-380 anti-ship missiles targeting the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group and supply ships operating near the United Arab Emirates. According to Iranian statements, one support vessel was hit, and several commercial ships were damaged or lost control. These claims have not been fully verified by independent sources, but they quickly spread across global media. The Qadr-380 missile reportedly has a range exceeding 2,000 kilometers and can reach speeds above Mach 8 during its terminal phase. It is designed to maneuver during flight and uses radar guidance to track moving targets at sea. The number 380 refers to the weight of its warhead in kilograms. Further strikes were reported against Israeli military facilities, including the General Staff Headquarters and Ramat David Air Base. Additional targets reportedly included the Tel Aviv Defense Industrial Zone, the Nevatim Air Base, and the perimeter area of the Dimona nuclear facility. Reports claimed that parts of Israel's military command infrastructure suffered additional damage during these strikes. On March 2nd, Iran reportedly expanded its operations with additional waves of attacks. Some statements suggested that new targets included high-level government and military command facilities, such as the Israeli Prime Minister's office and Air Force command centers. Reports indicated that several buildings were damaged, forcing evacuations of senior officials, although the full extent of damage remains unclear. During the same period, Iranian sources also claimed that U.S. missile defense systems, such as the THAAD system deployed in the UAE, were targeted. The Terminal High Altitude Area Defense System is considered one of the most advanced missile defense platforms in the world, designed to intercept ballistic missiles during their final phase of flight. A complete THAAD battery can cost billions of dollars. Further attacks reportedly targeted American bases in Kuwait, the UAE, and Bahrain using drones and ballistic missiles. The Arifjan base in Kuwait, which hosts thousands of American troops and functions as a major logistics hub, was also mentioned among the targets. On March 3rd, Iranian statements claimed that another missile defense radar associated with a THAAD system had been disabled. Additional strikes were reported against Israeli military industry facilities near Petah Tikva, where explosions were said to have occurred in weapons production areas. Iran also reportedly deployed electronic warfare systems designed to jam radar signals in parts of Kuwait and Bahrain. According to Iranian claims, a Fatah missile managed to penetrate several floors of the Israeli General Staff Headquarters, damaging operational command facilities and data centers. Hezbollah forces in Lebanon were also reported to have launched rockets toward northern Israel to distract Israeli air defenses during these operations. On March 4th, Iran announced further waves of attacks and claimed that another U.S. THAAD defense system deployed in Jordan had been destroyed. Iranian sources also stated that anti-ship ballistic missiles were launched toward U.S. naval vessels operating hundreds of kilometers away in the Indian Ocean. At the same time, regional allies were reportedly involved in the wider confrontation. Hezbollah launched large numbers of rockets toward northern Israel, while Yemen's Houthi movement reportedly began targeting ships in the Red Sea as part of a broader maritime pressure campaign. By March 5th, Iran claimed that its 19th wave of attacks had successfully penetrated multiple layers of Israeli air defense and struck targets around Ben Gurion Airport and nearby Israeli Air Force facilities. Iranian statements also claimed that a U.S. F-15 Strike Eagle fighter jet had been shot down over southwestern Iran, although details surrounding that claim remain disputed. U.S. Central Command confirmed that several MQ-9 Reaper drones had been lost during the conflict, although the exact circumstances were not fully explained. Iran later claimed that one of its drones struck the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier, forcing the carrier strike group to withdraw from the area. However, such claims have not been confirmed by U.S. officials. On March 6th, Iran announced the start of the 21st wave of attacks, launching ballistic missiles with high-speed maneuverable warheads toward targets in central Tel Aviv. Later, that same day, Iranian officials declared that the 23rd wave of Operation True Promise 4 had begun. According to their statements, this phase included coordinated missile and drone strikes against Israeli territory and U.S. military bases across the region. Iran also claimed that new generations of both solid fuel and liquid fuel missiles were used during these attacks. As the situation continues to evolve, many of these claims remain contested or unverified. However, what is clear is that the confrontation has rapidly expanded into one of the most complex and dangerous military escalations in the region in recent years.